Canada.
All right, we got the Twitter X, whatever you want to call it, tweet out. We got the
Yes.
social medias going. We've got a couple of viewers now, actually, unlike before. Where's my camera? Camera's moved. And sorry for the multiple posts and multiple everything, ladies and gentlemen, because I screwed everything up. That's what's called taking responsibility. Unlike the youngest generation now in the extreme right and the extreme left, they want to blame everybody else, and they want a politician and someone to tell them that everything else is someone else's fault and they're not responsible.
Yeah.
I'm up here telling you, I pressed all the wrong darn buttons, and by golly gee willikers, it didn't work. It did not work. And so we came back. Welcome, Chuck Jansen. Chuck in the house.
What's up, Chuck? How you doing,
Chuck
Mr. Jansen?
Let's see. He's let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Chuck wants to know, what is the over-under on how many ads he's getting? There we go. Let's put that up there on the screen. Over-under. How many ads you going to get today, Chuck? You must click on a lot of ads, because if more you click, I think the more they get you. Mike says, Pedro and Tommy rocking his house.
Woo, 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 woo.
In that Izzy.
It is. What up? Hey, guys, do us a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe button. Talk to us. And like I said, we're really trying to jump a little bit on, not jump on her, but I mean, just trying to talk about Miss Warren's, Senator Warren's progress, what's actually going on, and we did a little research on her. She's gonna be really interesting. I'm gonna let Tom talk about this. It's gonna be really fun. But in the same sense, if you guys could do us a favor, hit that like button. Please tell us where you're at, where you're coming from, where you'd like to be. That does help. We're actually go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish it. It helps. It helps.
Yeah.
But I thought you were coming to the end of your sentence there, but let's not.
I was.
Let's not screw around here. Let's talk about what's going on in the world of BTC. Pedro, where's the market going this week?
It's funny. The market, earlier, I actually went on a whole entire diatribe. Echo. Now we have an echo. So I was talking about earlier with the markets with BTC. We are actually kind of in a sideways pattern. And where did it go? Let's go. If anybody knows anything about that. All right. So like I said, we've hit this daily supply, weekly supply area here. I just kept up the daily or the monthly supply up in this level here. But the key is that we're in a sideways pattern right now within Bitcoin. Now, I want to bring this up because we're not necessarily going up or going down. And so whenever I'm in a sideways pattern, one of the things that I always look at is what's the long and what are the shorts doing, right? Are we having more buyers step in and more shorters stepping in? So we're having an equal balance of longs and shorts. In addition to that, how's the actual coin doing? Are people buying the actual spot coin, right? And what does that look like in relationship to price movement? One of the things I always bring up here is, where are we sitting with price in relationship to buys and sells? As you guys can see, we're seeing volume drop off here since December. Now, granted, it is the holiday season, and so particularly, we could see people basically going through the market and wanting to kind of take money out so that they can go through and buy what they need to for the holidays. And or the other part behind it as well is this. Are the institutions stepping back right now because they're out there in the holiday season and everything? But what it looks like to me is that's not what's actually happening. And the reason why I say this is, are we in a Christmas rally or not? Are the institutions preparing for the ETF release of Bitcoin and or the ETH network to get moving? We don't know. So let's check out what's actually happening. I always say, if something is going to happen, first thing that they're going to do is first drop it, then go up, right? If they want to push it up. One of the things I always say, think about the opposite way. All that to say is this, okay? We're seeing a drop up in volume. Yet, we're on the verge of, air quote, seeing a ETF for BTC and ETH. So with that said, or ETH, right? Or W here. So with that, or excuse me, not W, F. I don't know why I said W. So in the same sense, we're seeing this market go sideways. So now let's go into the actual shorts and longs. And this is what's really interesting in all of this. You would think that if they're putting a position in, okay, we should see a because the reason why I say put in a position is because it's going sideways. We should see an accumulation of the spot market. But as we look here, this is the daily chart, and this is and this is the longs. So you can see here, these are the longs coming into the market. And as you can see here, it's quite the opposite. They're actually, we're seeing a sell-off in the market, okay? And here's the backside behind it, right? It's a long way down. We could see another, as twice as much of a drop than what we see from here down. So the reason I'm bringing this up is that means we then should be seeing a pickup of shorts. Okay, but we all know that shorts have been kicked in the face all year long. Every time that they've shorted, they've just been just punched. Sucker punched every single time. So there's definitely a backside behind it where, are they the ones really pushing this down, right? Well, lo and behold, no. Now, if you look at the overall market, I want to first, so we can sit there and understand, these are the shorts, right, coming in. This was the shorts at the beginning of the year. These, again, another part of the shorts in November. So you see the moves. When it goes up, that means shorts are stepping in. All right, and you can see the sell-off, boom. Now, when I point this out, this is really important right here. We are seeing shorts step in, but not in comparison to what we've seen in the past. So us going down, and this is another part to understand, when the market goes down, the people who stop, or the entities that stop the market from free falling, are the shorts, literally. And the reason why is whenever people are selling off or people are sitting there, when it's moving up, they put their positions in because they need buyers for them to short their side. So when the market sells off, it has whatever 20, 30, 50, 100% drop. The key point is this, is that the shorters are on the other end too. They're making money. And when they think that the market is done falling, they buy back their positions and they put a base, an actual bottom in the market, stating, okay, this is the bottom of it. We're now going to see this move up, right? And you can see here that those bottoms would be placed right up these levels, right? Like boom. Huge sell-off, a huge sell-off of your shorts, right? So right here on the market, we would see it drop, 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 drop. And then a red candle means that we would see a green candle on the market, okay? Well, you can see here that from a long standpoint, there's not a lot of shorts in the market. There's quite a lot less comparative to the past performances of shorts. So it's definitely not the shorts that are going through and selling off this market if we do see it sell off in comparative, right? Like there's this, it's minuscule. Anyway, they sound like an idiot. It's very nominal to the fact with the shorts at large, right? Over this bull period, or excuse me, over this bear market. But yeah, we see a huge inflection of sellers actually selling their Bitcoin here, right? Since November. So it's been really interesting to see who's selling and what's actually happening. So that's all I got to say in this position. So when I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this market for Bitcoin again, and I hate to say it, but it looks like a false rally. Like, we're seeing, we're not, and I don't want to sit there.
They don't want to hear that, Pedro. They don't want to hear.
I know they don't. I know, but
crap.
And especially with all the news of what's actually going on and everything that, but it's a narrative that we're also going to talk about a little bit with Senator Warren, right? And what's actually happening there. So it potentially could, we could see a sell-off then for a buyback at a lower rate, especially with these ETFs. These ETFs do not want to put their first year at a massive negative point if we don't see. Yeah, I know. I hate to do it, but the reality is this. It potentially is a good position that's actually happening, because if we do see sell-off, we do then see a good buy. We see big buys coming later, right? So potentially, I think that's what they're doing. I could be wrong, but long story short, BTC potentially is going sideways to go down to these lower levels of 30,000, or potentially push through and see us. If we push through this next level here, this monthly zone here, there's a weekly monthly zone, we potentially could see this market completely push through this and go to almost the peak here. So it's one of those things that it's just really interesting. It's really interesting. So that's it in a nutshell with what I'm seeing within the market. We'll go back to a few other coins, but that's what I see with BTC as of right now.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry.
It just it reminds me of the old trick when, like, say that you're short and using a little bit of margin on an exchange, and you're like, I know the market's gonna go down here a little bit. You're looking at the chart. You're not really that skilled at it. I might be speaking from personal experience here, and then you watch the market drop a huge sale, and you're like. And you're like, yes. And then it immediately goes up. Like an exchange sells off $10 million worth of BTC. You're like, oh, I was right. Here it comes. And then they buy $20 million worth immediately. So what they do is they clear out all their shorts, you know, and then they buy $20 million back. So they got their 10 million, but they dropped the market first, brought it back up. And meanwhile, you got stopped out and you lost your ass. It just... It's like the big guy. Everyone does that except me because I don't have enough money to do that. I don't have billions of money, billions Michael Saylor money in order to move the market and all that type of stuff. So
he's going to very much become a small fish here in a minute. I mean, like really, like he's going to have to save up his millions, if not billions of dollars, especially when you start to see BlackRock step in. I mean, 100 million is a daily play for them, not a monthly or, it's like, oh, they just put $100 million.
Right.
So
we got a request from the rabble out there for a little Cardano review. If you've got Cardano happy, if you've got it up there.
Happy Cardano, where you Ada?
Just tap it in.
All right, so tap it in. Yeah, so as you can see, Cardano is playing the same base here. We're seeing pretty much the same thing within the market. But what's nice about Cardano is like there's really such a huge community behind this entity here that they really are holding off it. I do see us, and why isn't this going? I thought I hit the month. We do have that 90-cent mark here. And for the OG Moonrock guys, if you're watching, like I said, we hit that 35-cent mark here. It actually went all the way down to the 23-cent mark that I actually pointed out for many of you guys. So just throwing that up for Moonrock. I actually called this out when the market was up in here. They're like, where do you see the market going to? I said, well, probably 15 cents, but potentially 25, like 35, 25 cent area. That's one of the areas you want to go looking at. And if you're going to load up, and they were like, no way, there's no way it's going down there. And I said, well, watch it. We probably will. I mean, hopefully I'm wrong, but like I still could be wrong on the whole entire market dropping down to, 10,000, 5,000. I hope I am. I still see it. The fact that we didn't put anything this year.
What was Cardano's low right there?
Yeah, so this was at the low 23 cent area. Yeah. And so it's doubled to where it is sitting now. We've seen it pretty much push really hard over the last month, which is really good. But anytime I see a market rally without no demand wick, I am always skeptical. Like this is a good example. No demand wick. We see it rally up and then it comes down, right? And it retests. This is one of the things that they do. So if we're at these levels, we're seeing it already kind of hit this monthly, and it's actually hitting a weekly zone here as we're playing off of this. So again, it very much could come down to the lower levels of, I would say, 38 cent, just because we saw that huge push up over this past month, right? So for me, I looked at 38, potentially 34 cent, and after that could even see it. I mean, if it continues down, if we see a drop within Bitcoin, everything else also has an exponential drop to it, right? So 1% in Bitcoin is like 5% or 10% with altcoins. So it's something that we could be paying attention to, right? But if this things continue, and we did put last week a doji candle, right? But the problem is if you trade with ICT, we did not with an ICT trading style. We did not close above here. Now, if you use moving averages, we're really trending off of that 8-period moving average. So I do see it's coming back down to these lower levels here to tap and get some orders down in these levels at that 39, 38 to that 45 cent mark area. Just something that could be tap
Yeah,
a
I can't
row.
resist saying that.
Now, listen, Mr. Beast, aka BTC, need to be paying attention to that, because if that does start to see a sell-off, you're going to see a sell-off with ADA. She's a strong beast. Listen, I'm not saying that she isn't, right? She's a great community. She's got a great group of guys who are leading, right? Like, really. But in that same sense, I don't see, if it does start to see a sell-off, these are just opportunities for you guys to buy, right? You can see here you had a deceleration as we're moving up, then a huge push. So I don't know if that was a major buyer or if that was, the community just rallying to buy it, push it up. Either way, I don't see the institutions leaving this baby alone in the next bull run. So they're going to want to, again, buy in at a low rate before we see a push up, which is a good thing for you.
It's going to do well. That's just
absolutely
my personal opinion on it. It's going back up because Charles's organization is putting a lot of money into it, and the things that he's invested in and worked on have not failed. It's not like he's got a string of failures and happened to make a bunch of money during the Bitcoin boom. I mean, he's a money printing machine, and it's people.
He understands
Chuck,
people.
I think it was a good buy getting in what you can. What do you got here, Solana?
Yeah, well, there's the whole entire Solana news with the bonk release, right? We're seeing a lot of people buying the Solana phone. I was reading an article with literally dude, I thought it was brilliant. I think it was brilliant. And here's the thing, like, the Solana phone is specifically built for blockchain, specifically built. And I think it's almost like iPhone, or not iPhone. It's like when why am I forgetting their name? It's like when a business
Space
goes
Cat
through
to the show. Welcome. Thanks for joining in today. Sorry,
Space Cat. That's right. It's like when you see a company that's a little too early to the market before the market actually catches wind, right? And so that's almost like what the Solana phone is. And what's nice is, if you're looking to, let's say, mine HNT, if you're looking to mine a few other entities, that's the phone that you're looking to get. I mean, really, it's a money printing phone. And at $600, with what you're mining today, that $600 could be worth literally thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars for $600 today. So I think it's a steal.
Yeah, there's something else going on like that with Helium.
Yeah, Helium uses Solana's phone system as a miner too. So if you can't afford a miner, you can buy the phone, and wherever you go, you mine. You just got to make sure. And one thing I do like about that phone is it's really advanced when it comes to security protocols within the phone, like being able to get hacked.
I think Helium went up 2,000% in the past couple of days.
Yes, that's exactly, because I
don't own any of it. I was like,
oh, I do.
Oh, you do? Oh, great. Borrow a little cash.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I that's actually what brought me into crypto. So I was paying attention to crypto, kind of. Yeah, but when somebody told me, I was an older man at my church, and he basically said to me, Pedro, I want you to look at this thing because I know you're into it. And I was like, and my spirit man was like, got checked. By the, I'm a Christian, and by the Holy Spirit said, how dare you judge him? You need to go and you need to listen to him. I'm like, I'm sorry, Father, you're right, my bad. So I turned, I said, my brother, what's up? What do you have for me? And he goes, I apologize for my rudeness. Because it's all right, Pedro, it's cool. I get it. And this man's like in his late 70s, had a lot of good business dealings, a lot of great stuff. So I should listen to him, right? Like, I shouldn't even been like that. And so he starts talking to me about it. And I was like, well, I'm not really into crypto. I don't deal with crypto. And he goes, well, you might want to check this out. So he tells me about it. So I go and I do some research on it. And I see what actually Helium is doing. And I thought that was like, wow. They're trying to create an internet of things and create a type of self protocol for internet. And I sat there and I was like, that is amazing. And I said, and they're trying to make, instead of big institutions make money, the people make the money. And I said, that's impressive. So that's actually what made me realize the communal aspect of our industry within crypto, right? It's a lot. It's our hands are definitely tied to it, and we can actually have a lot more power, which gives us the freedom to make decisions within it. And so I sat there, and then so I started. I tried to get into it, and it was this thing. I forget what was the entity. It doesn't even matter the entity that brought me into it. But what matters is that I started paying attention to HNT and what was actually going on, which is HNT USD. And so yeah, it's been a nice little run. As we were down in these lower levels here, I told a few friends of mine, I was like, look, these are really low levels. The dollar, $1.05, $1.25. You just might want to be paying attention to this. You started accruing, throw $100 in, $200 and see what happens. And so,
What's
and
the
I
chart name, or it's a
HNT. It's HNT USD. Now this is
like,
not it. This is
like HM or HN, like Nancy.
okay. Hotel November Tango.
Hotel November Tango, bitches.
So, yeah, I've been
Wow.
trying to, yeah, not bad at all.
Chuck, you own
But
any
the key,
helium? I hope so.
I've enjoyed. I've sat there and looked at this, and I got to be careful because I'm not condoning. I'm not pro or against, right? But and I don't try to, subscribe to one community, but I have to admit that they've done a great job, really great job in developing their system, developing their whole entire network, and done they have some smart people running it. And I mean, again, like Ada, like they've got some great people at the helm there steering the ship really well. And, there's money here that could potentially be made, and if you got in at these low points, you know what I'm saying? Like, great, the peak of H&T at its high here was $56. I remember that because I was sitting at a retreat last December, and back in actually November. When was this? Yeah, it was in November, and it had reached those high levels. And I remember sitting there going like, "Holy crap!" And by then I had bought my first couple of bags when it was at like $15, $20. And then it hit those, and I was like, wow, nice. And then I said, well, if I'm going to look at from a TA standpoint, where am I going to buy? And so when you go to Coin Market Cap, you'll see that the real base of this, right? And again, this is still my first rodeo here in crypto. Okay, so I was still looking at it like from a traditional standpoint. I thought to myself, oh, there's no way it's going to fall down to $1.
No,
So like,
we'll never do that.
no, dude. Oh man. So when it hit $5, I said dope, right? And then it hit $2, and I was like even doper, And so then I saw when it hit that $1.50 area, I said, all right, cool. Here's a couple hundred. And so it's definitely been a nice little run for me. And, I think I got my stuff. I don't have thousands of dollars into this. I wish I would have, but I've got a decent bag here with them, and I it's nothing. Potentially, if this thing really starts to rally, we could see realistically, 89, potentially $100 helium. Like just because of what they're doing, and they're the first starter, right? So they went from $1 to basically $8, $9, and they're the ones first, I think, breaking out of a trend in comparison to a lot of the other major coins out there. But I'm not, again, like look at Lunic, right? Like Lunic here, and I know I just jumped here real quick, but Luna, went from trip was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 506 to to literally 302. So we're talking almost a 50x 40x rise there. So it's just one of those things that only in crypto, right? Only in crypto that you can literally It just blows me away, like just, and you don't know, but you just gotta pay attention, stay involved.
What's their
You don't
all-time
even
high
need
there?
Lunic. I think it's 0306.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, and we're talking from their high here. They're only from the previous high. It's only 3x from their high to the all-time high. And I know this sounds nuts, but like for TriFi, right? They would look at that and go, "There's no way." That's exorbitant, crazy amount of numbers. But you got to remember that we in TriFi they've been diluting the market for years. Just like when you dilute a coin, right? It makes it harder for it to pump, right? In the same sense, there's really no dilution. And this one there was a lot of dilution, but in most of these coins, there's not a lot of dilution in the currency. So, based off of whatever's happening, you could definitely see some big movements here. I mean,
real quick, Chuck, you may be behind a few minutes. So hit that live button on whatever platform you're watching to get up to the local time. You may be behind by about 5 minutes or so, and I'm saying this at 33 minutes after the hour.
Also, if you guys while we're saying that, if you could hit the hearts on the side a couple times, hit that heart, those likes, those 100s if you go over and you click on it, that actually helps a lot with engagement, and it helps YouTube to really send our information out there.
Yep.
I think so.
All right. Crypto
Yeah.
Mike said to check out Crow. We've been talking about that, but while you change up your charts here, I'm going to give the social media spiel real quick here. And talk about, let's see, I get my buttons all mixed up here. The social media people out there, this is we call Pedro feeding the algorithm here. Hey, everything at Twitter and X is great. Elon Musk is our hero. Man, it is awesome. Oh, wait, I forgot to broadcast on X today. So.
Mr. Beast? Oh, come on. We got to really, I know.
I got to get back on my game here. My first day back in the studio, when I switch studios, is always a disaster from a workflow process, and it's a mess. Anyway, but today we're broadcasting on YouTube. Thank you to everybody that's watching there. I just want to say that your engagement has really been helping us a lot. The other day, we had a show on just Pedro and I last Friday. No guest or anything. And we've hit over 200 views. Organic views that people watched it, not bots or random stuff. 200 views. We got over 100 on YouTube, and we got over 50 on LinkedIn, and 30 on Twitter and Kick and Facebook all combined, or something like that. Whatever the total was, it put us over 200. And I got to tell you, I just noticed I was. In conjunction with that, I just noticed that while I was looking through some old video, that Pedro's been on the show now with me for a year. He started pretty much on Halloween. On Halloween 2022. And I took a little time off in the winter, but then around March, I said, all right, I got to get going again here, and did the show a bunch and brought Pedro back on too. And so we've been going at this for a while, and every little thing that we do slowly builds it up. And I talked to a bunch of other creators and stuff, and everyone's like, it takes a year to even get anyone to watch your show. And we're right in that spot right now. And people are starting to watch, and we're getting a good crowd joining us. Today we don't have we have a good crowd. The crowd that here is very good.
I always appreciate you guys, no matter what.
Crowd because I screwed up the beginning today, and I had to start the process over. But anyway, so it's building and it's working, and it's not just because Pedro and I are up here talking. It's because you guys press that like button, press those heart buttons, and help with the algorithm to get our show in front of more people that enjoy investing in crypto and learning what not to do in crypto, so they don't get wrecked out there. So thank you very much to everybody. And so with that note, if everybody could please welcome. Comment, like, and share. Just do it. Then we would all we'll all be for the better here. So thank you to everybody for doing that. That was my 1 year thank you to Pedro, and 1 year thank you to the people that watch. So even though I've been doing this since I guess my first show was back with the old DYOR project, and we were just going 24 hours. Finally, I had to sleep, and then I came back on. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have a beginning to the show, and actually make it an actual show. That was in that part of the thing was in I guess October of 21. So been up here talking a lot. Chuck says, I am behind. I took a phone call. Now he's back on track.
Nice.
How dare you take a phone call during our show? Anyway, how's Crow doing here?
Yeah, good old Crow. So like I said, Crow's kind of going sideways here. I personally like it. You know, Kraken, it's got a lot of, I mean, I know they're dealing with SEC issue. Yeah. Well, Kraken, Crypto.com, Coinbase, it's all in the same, you know, venue, right? And so us, you know, and again, we'll see new coins pop up within this industry, new stuff that actually pop I realize I keep doing my history. Every bull run you see busts, and you see and you have stars, right, that come, that shoot up and do amazing, right? You know, Crow was the shooting star of last bull run, right? Was one of the primary onboarding avenues that people were able to get into crypto. Obviously Coinbase has been the OG from pretty much the beginning, and so you're seeing a lot of these new guys come on with a lot actually better tech, trading tech, but it's still kind of cool to see Coinbase with their, you know, with their expertise status too as well, bringing also new. So it's gonna be really interesting to see. My biggest complaint was, like, there is no dome for me to buy and sell quick and easy on a charting system, right? Which was very frustrating to me, because when I trade, you know, it's a frustrating thing to sit there and and I'm just going to show you, like, for example, right? If I'm trading this market right here, right now, I can sit there and just say, okay, I want to buy right here, right? And my orders are set here at these levels immediately. Get in. If I want to move my stop, I can quickly and easy on chart trading, right? And I'm so used to this that I've tried to use the other mechanisms, and it actually throws off my brain when it comes to trading, right? So it's been very frustrating, where right now you're now seeing a lot of the market, you know, realizing, like, if they really want to capture retail traders, they have to make it simple for retail traders to actually go through and do it, you know, for the market. So I hope Crow, I hope Coinbase have these new techniques that allow you to be able to trade and see what's actually going on in the markets and make it simple and easy. And I think they're definitely going to. I mean, I see Coinbase trying to do that. So with their futures market for their section, right? It's like how you have the ability to trade. The backside behind it is the forever ability within crypto, right? That's where it's like, okay, if I want to buy the hard coin, this is where, you know, you go to Crow, right? But if I want to transfer it from Crow, right, into my hard wallet and stake it somehow, you know, I got to go through that. You know, if it's not your wallet, it's not your coin, right? So that's where, so if they do go belly up, you need to be able to be mindful of what's actually happening, where you buy your coins, and then removing them off, you know, and, or how do you understand, and also learning a new blockchain is another system that, you know, us people who are traders, you know, we have no problem messing with it, but the normies, you know, for them to figure out, like, Solana network or ADA network, right? How to actually buy coin on their system and buy, you know, it's difficult. You know, do you use your trust wallet? And when you get into it, how do you settleize it? How do you create a good settlement system within it? So it's just, they've still got a long ways to go, is what I'm saying. But
yeah,
it's
Mike,
still.
I feel for you there. When was at its all-time high? Everyone thought that Crypto.com was going to support its coin, you know, with and prop it up. And Crypto.com said, hey, it's a token, it lives on its own. And once people realize that, they're like, oh, drat. And look at that.
Yeah.
That's just a classic. I mean, that's indicative of what time frame is that all-time high there, Pedro?
Yeah, this was literally at the peak of November of last year in 2021,
2 years
when we
ago.
saw or 2 years ago, right? So I remember this. Like I remember
Right.
sitting there. I was in the same retreat looking at that, and mind, I had just kind of started getting into crypto. I had bought some stuff. And I was looking at my wallet, I was like, holy crap, I only had like $100 in there, $200 altogether with like SHIB and all this stuff. And that stuff just skyrocketed. And I was sitting there going like, this is ridiculous. Like how this stuff pushes. And then, but now that I've experienced the kind of one full cycle as of right now, I'm going to say full cycle because I got in at the tail end of the bull market, right? So it's going to be really interesting. I actually look forward to the next bear market and bull market because having two cycles there, you're going to be able. I'll be able to sit there and go, okay, I know how to play this.
Re-rack your the shows for the past year and go back and go, oh yeah,
yeah. And so it's just one of those things that I look at going, what's going to happen? I don't know. Like, dude, just 100% in 1 year is huge for me, right? Like traditional markets. Okay. This baby this is great. Like for me, like sitting there and being able to sit there and go, okay, I'm going to buy this. And if 50% is great. I know it's crypto. People are like, it only did 2x. Like, bro, it did 2x. Like, do you understand how big that is? Like, I think one of the reasons why Elizabeth Warren is fighting so hard is because the bottom half of America retired, literally off of crypto, because they could get reflections or
it's
staking
just drug
rewards.
and terrorist money. That's all it is. Everyone's a scammer. It's all terrorist money.
Right? Like, no, what it is it's allowing the poor people of America to act, and poor people around the world. Actually, more people around the world are much more fluent in transferring money from wallet and understanding the complexities of crypto than us Americans. And a lot of those people, like, they're like, dude, let's game on. Like, we all have devs that are from other parts of the world who are like, pump it up, let's go. So it's crazy, man. Crypto, can make people from around the world wealthy and sustainable. And it's a very, very small niche of people that are using this for nefarious things. We're talking less than 0.001%. So it's just a very interesting situation that's actually happening in the world. I mean, what are your thoughts, Tom, on that?
Well, I have got the evil satanic. Let me rephrase that. The wonderful pie cooking senator up on the screen here in the article. Let me just go find the article here. Where's the headline? Elizabeth Warren, crypto industry lobbyists. The lobbyists, now it's their problem, undermine anti-terrorists' efforts. In a letter to the Blockchain Association, Warren reiterated earlier claims that cryptocurrency is used by terrorist groups to bypass sanctions. Now, I want to, before we start rambling on this too much, I want to point out that was true at one point. When Bitcoin and other cryptos first started coming out and it was anonymous, they're like, hey, this is a good way to move money around. And then they quickly started getting shot in the head. And then they were like, hey, these people can follow these transactions, especially when you're the NSA and you have Fort Meade at your beck and call. It's very trackable. And in the world of killing terrorists, you don't need to be that accurate. You just need to say, hey, it's a wallet and it's traced to this apartment building in the middle of nowhere. And the apartment building disappears in a couple of minutes later. And so the things that go into determining whether terrorists use it or not have evolved into amazing tools now, and groups like Chain Analysis and the other groups that I can't remember off the top of my head come out and say, no, this isn't true, Elizabeth Warren. She grabs old news articles and I'm guessing she doesn't have any staffers that work for her, because they'd be saying to her, no, this isn't true. And if you're a staffer for Elizabeth Warren, or used to be one, give us a call. We want to talk to you. We want to talk to you what is going through her head when everybody in the whole
her.
world says that's not true, and then she still comes out about it. And I don't even know why groups like Decrypt here even give her a platform anymore. I mean, maybe
I think what it is
crazy.
Well, more than I think, to add to that, it's not even whether she's crazy or not. It's just, you know what? A wildfire, it starts off as a small, either cigarette butt or a little small, flick. But if it catches, it takes out everything. So I think you should pay attention to that, because the reality is, if she does go too far, which I don't think she's meaning to, I think, we're going to bring up some statistics later, and you'll see, it's silly. It's silly what she's doing, but at the same time, it's one of those things that you need to pay attention to, because
here it is. She just comes out and blames this lady, Kristen Smith, of the Blockchain Association of Washington, D.C. By the way, Kristen, I've sent you like 5 emails and tried to connect with you on LinkedIn to no avail. So I work with the Canadian Blockchain Association Consortium a lot, and I don't work with you guys because nobody answers their emails. I don't understand it. But now, Kristen, you are getting called out by Elizabeth Warren. So you got to put those fighting gloves on and come back out, or you just ignore her like she's an old lady yelling at clouds. Elizabeth writes, or I should say Senator Warren writes, I write regarding a troubling new report that your association and other crypto interests are flexing a not-so-secret weapon. A small army of former defense, national security, and law enforcement officials to work on your behalf to undermine bipartisan efforts in Congress and the Biden administration to address the role of cryptocurrency in financing Hamas and other terrorist organizations. Since the horrific October 7th attack in Israel by Hamas, new information has revealed that crypto has become an essential part of Hamas's activity. And she puts footnotes here. She quotes the Wall Street Journal article that came out, and immediately the people that the Wall Street Journal article quoted, Chain Analysis and another group in it that I can't remember, they came right out and said, that is not true. She took everything out of context and said that $190 million were funded for Hamas to October 7th. And what all we said was that $190 million went through a network, and about $190,000, or I think it might have been only 12,000 or 24,000, ended up in wallets that were determined to be nefarious. And then of which Israel, the government of Israel, told the exchanges to put a hold on those wallets, and they did. So they actually did not get any money. And these companies came out and said she's wrong, and she's still quoting them to this day, December 18th, right here. And this whole thing happened just after October 7th, and she's still doing it. It's just terrible.
You know, when your grandpa or grandma gets on a rant, and it's like something that Joey did when he was, when he was 8 years old, right? But he's 26 years old, got a master's degree in quantum physics, right? And he's 30 years old, got a master's degree in quantum physics, right, or a doctorate degree, and grandma says, "I remember when you looked at the sky and you said it's blue because God colors it," right? Like, it's like, no, grandma, please, okay, let's speed this up, right? And it's not that you're senile. She's eloquent, she can talk, she's communicative, but man, grandma, I need you to educate yourself. You got this, grandma. I believe in you. Get into crypto. If you really look into it, you'll see. You actually might even be buying it, and we just don't know it. My grandma might be doing sneaky stuff. We just don't know about it. You know what I'm saying?
Chuck says, if I've got to be nice, I don't have anything to say about Senator Warren. That's correct. It's just, reading this letter is like reading just gibberish. And whoever typed it up must have been like, they must hate their job. You know, the poor staffers in her office are like, I'm doing this just to get time served here, and then I'll get a good job when the next administration comes, or something like that, or she retires and the new person takes over. I mean, here she is. She blames other senators and other House of Representatives, people that have retired, that sided on behalf of Coinbase and the Blockchain Association.
So she can't get in trouble.
Smart. She's blaming them. She's like, this is just a revolving door of people, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how many of you noticed, but in the past few weeks, Senator Warren has taken sides with the banking industry. She has been on their case forever, and all of a sudden she's their new friend. And she has Jamie Dimon testifying in front of her, and she has all the other banking guys, and they are singing her tune. They're like, crypto is bad, the government should ban it. All this. Meanwhile, JP Morgan is launching all sorts of crypto stuff. And they are just
their own coin, their own blockchain.
They're like giving her what the hell's it called? Fruitcake. Excellent. Exactly right. The whole banking industry. The whole banking industry is one giant lobbyist. It has the most lobbyists of anything, of any group, and that includes the defense industry, because the banking industry lobbies at the federal level. They lobby at the state level. They lobby at your county level. They lobby at your city level. They lobby the townships. They lobby every level of government because they're in every level of society and the economy. Whereas the Defense Department is just at the federal level mostly. But so the banking lobbyists come and go. They are the biggest revolving door. They go back and forth to the SEC in a revolving door. And Elizabeth is all this, well, the SEC this and the CFTC this and all this kind of crap. And their lobbyists go back, and I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm just saying they know their career plan. And they say, okay, I go work for the bank for a little bit. Then I'll get a good job in the government. Being a regulator, then I'll have that experience, and I'll go then like get my super master's degree, and then a bank will hire me up at this level, and then the government will hire me back up at this level, and then I'll be making policy, and then I'll go back to the bank. It's a revolving door because they hire people like that. It's not a revolving door because it's nefarious and it's a not so secret weapon. Oh, drives me crazy. Just a good day to complain with only a few days left to Christmas. I got to get it out of my system.
Well, I am thankful because here's the thing. Here's the thankful you guys can sit there and look. And we can bring this up. Do you want me to go over the statistics of her
Yes. Pedro came up with some great stuff here. Here's some good stuff on the success of this person.
So I can't take full credit for this. I was actually listening to Bankless. Shout out to Bankless. If anybody watches Bankless, it's a great show. So they were going over some statistics at her. But I went a little bit further because I wanted to know what the average bill. So they brought up her average, and we'll go into this in a second. So I was listening to them. They went over her statistics and what she's done over the past 10 years of her being in the Senate. So she's done about 300. Give me a second. We'll just post it right here. Boom. Come on. Why? Let's go. Come on. Copy. All right. Actually, I don't know if I should post this. I could. Can I post this whole entire thing? Right? Is that all right? Or would this get us in trouble? In the We'll see. I'm gonna post it, and if we get shut down, we get shut down. But I think this is important to pay attention to, so you guys can go back through and look at it. I'm gonna put it, and for the social stream between what I can post to everything. If I post this, is there a certain amount I can post? We'll find out. Yeah, I guess it's doing it. All right, there we go. We'll see what's up. So I just posted kind of everything that we went over, but I'm just going to go into right now. So Senator Warren, her statistics are, she's posted about 300 plus bills in the Senate from when she's pretty much started. And she's only, out of those 300 plus bills that she proposed in the Senate, only 9 of them actually have passed. Okay, so it's really interesting. That's about 3.3% or 3.3% pass through. So I said, wow, that's a really small amount. But I said, you know what? What's the average? It's like if the average is 1%, she's actually doing really, really good for most senators, right? So I said, well, what's the average for most senators? So the average of a bill posted for most senators is 12%. and it's about 300, 400 in a period of 12 years or 10 years. So it's really interesting to sit there and see that Senator Warren went through and is really below, she's not even above
she's a pathetic senator. Let's just put it out there. She's an expense that the U.S. can't afford. She doesn't get anything done. She has crazy politics that don't mesh with her constituents. And how she keeps getting... This is why there's certain groups of people should be banned from voting. Or other groups of people should be forced to vote to counter them. She just keeps getting elected, and everyone can't stand her. They're like, oh, let's just keep voting for the nice old lady.
Well, here's the thing, this Miss Pocahontas is very much...
Oh, yeah, she claimed to be Native American, right.
That's all right. No. But here's the thing, though, and I'm being honest here. I love the fact that she knows this. So we all know there's the kid in high school who's kind of annoying that nobody listens to, but he's smart. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes you can kind of use that kid to kind of get your stuff that you need to get done, right? Like if he's being annoying and asking the teacher, what about this, this, and this? Well, the teacher doesn't even listen to him, right? He might even be saying the correct stuff. And so me and Tom are sitting there thinking, well, she knows this, that she's not that effective of a legislator.
Right.
And then the back, yes. So there's a part of me that almost makes me think that there's either a hidden agenda here, because she knows that she's almost like a teapot drawing attention away from maybe the real situation that is happening. So there's either that aspect, or she is literally going through and blatantly just at a blind sense not really knowing what's going on, and she's just really that ineffective. And I don't think she's really that. I don't think it's that. I think she's smart, she understands, and she gets it, and she's now playing. She's being paid to look the other way, because I keep bringing up, we can see in the charts what's actually going on. So remember, I always bring up that old video of Jim Cramer talking about how they want to switch things around. Well, the reality is this. They can sit there now, and the banks, instead of using news forms, they use politicians now. The banksters no longer need even news, because people don't pay attention to the media anymore. More people watch Joe Rogan and Mr. Beast around the world than a year of media. Now, granted, I over-expressed that there, right? But there are a lot of people who listen to those guys. And the media, whether you're a Fox person or CNBC or a CB, whatever it be, right? They're not watched in comparative to what your phone pulls up and brings you. So they now, they've got to use different ways to move the market. And so I do think they use senators. They do use these ways
to
be able to
use her as a patsy.
They have to. And she's got to know that. There's just, because here's the other thing, right? And this is the other thing I want to bring up. In Congress, in her bill, she's talking about revolving around these lobbyists. But the reality is that she uses lobbyists as well. And she's upset with people. Like, she was upset that, if you're a retired judge, or if you're a retired, I don't know, something else, you can go through and you can actually get jobs as a lobbyist. And she doesn't like that, either she doesn't like that. She's trying to stop that in this bill as well. So there's some good aspects behind this, right?
True.
Like, let's say
that's true. And I believe, is she one of the ones supporting the bill to ban sitting elected officials from actively trading in stocks?
She's tried, but honestly, I think it's going to come back to bite her.
I don't know if she's a sponsor or not, but
I'll check into that. But that bill has been coming up in the marketplace for the last 20 plus years. They first started it in 1990, and the first time it came to the Supreme Court was in 2000, and then they did it again and got it into the got that same bill, but just revised it a little from 2000 to 2010, and now it failed again. And this is like the third time it's being brought up, trying to push it. It takes about 10 years to take it from, ground level all the way through everywhere that they're trying to get. And I think it's 3 times that bill can go before Congress and the Senate, and if it's shut down, it's ex-nay forever. You can't do it again. So if this thing doesn't pass,
until the next Congress sits, then
is that
until they sit again when they set their rules again? Because each time they sit, they pass their rules and then follow the rules for that term.
I got it. Okay. But either way, man, it's one of those things, and it'd be interesting to see where she sits on that. I'm pretty positive she's probably pro it, but she's on the backside. She understands. I mean, because she blatantly quotes stuff so crazy. There's a part of me that's almost like there's no way she can be that ignorant. There's no way.
Yes, there's.
She's not that dumb. I can't, because she's not. She does talk crypto talk at times. So there's these moments where I'm like, yo, just like Gensler was tooling us a couple months ago, right? Or actually even a couple weeks ago, regarding some of the stuff that's happening in crypto. I think she's tooling us because she's got some black wallet or some, what do you call not trust wallet,
some dark web wallet or something, DeFi wallet that nobody knows about. Yeah. All right, we've complained about Senator Warren enough here today. Just so you know, I had to delete the comments because they were just too long for YouTube.
No worries.
It only allows 300 characters, and that was 3,000. Then Twitch and Kick, they just failed. But Facebook took it. Facebook, the home of disinformation and spam and scams, they'll take whatever you post up there. So thank you, Facebook. And thank you to everyone that's been watching on Facebook today. We had a couple of viewers. If you would comment, if anyone's still watching, I would appreciate the comments there. So thanks for watching on Facebook. Really trying to give Facebook a second chance here. And the reason is because I saw someone else's thing, and they had 75,000 people watching their, financial show of some sort. And admittingly, they have a big web presence and all this type of stuff. But still, it's like, well, there must still be people on Facebook, so let's see what happens. Anyway, check out this thing. We've been talking about Bonk, and we were talking about earlier in the show. Why don't you pull up a graph of Bonk there, Pedro, and see what's going on with that? Look at that effing chart. Is that a daily?
Yeah.
Put us on a 4-hour chart or something.
That just makes me giggle. Look at it, dude. Dude, if you look at this, bro, some guy was like, I'm gonna buy this, throw $100 into it. It's starting to move, right? Because back here, it really started to kind of trend,
Yep.
We're talking in November. You saw the initial pump, and they're like, oh, is it going to go down? Oh, it's not going to go down. I'm just going to buy it, right? So they buy it at some type of sell-off and goes consolidates. And so that's what is that, 6 zeros? I can't even count that right now. I got to put my glasses on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 zeros, right? 7 zeros. Even if you got in right here, in October, bro, Right. And not even at the lows. Just talking about October, where from there it did 5x from there from the low. You still, dude, this is crypto, man.
Life is not fair, man. It's just not
crypto life. So you're talking 7 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Chuck says Tom must have bought some Bonk and sent it south. Yeah, Chuck, I'm gonna go buy some Cardano today.
So Cardano it goes from 7 zeros. It goes from 7 zeros to 4 zeros. Dude, what is that? 1,000? That's 1,000x. Yeah, and that's not even the low.
4 zeros would be 1,000x.
Yeah.
1 zero is 10x. No, it'd be 10,000x.
Yeah, no, it's 3 zeros.
There's 3 zeros, yeah, 1,000x.
Because it was at 7. Let me count that again. Boom. So
whatever, it's a shit ton of money. I mean, people, and then a whole bunch of people got to the top there and said, and said, "All right, it's time to put some Christmas money in the wallet." But
Yeah.
I got to tell you, if you go back to its first big drop, like in here somewhere.
Oh, okay, right here. Let me go ahead and right here, or right here.
Yeah, like there. So
Okay.
that, if you zoom in on that, it looks like what's going on right now. It's like, wow, it dropped 44%. Yeah. This turkey is done. Button is popped. It's cooked. It's done. And then it goes on in another 1000x from there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, it was funny. One of my community people were like, "Oh, bonk is popping," and I'm like, and they had me look at it, and I said, "That looks good. I mean, it actually looks like a good buying point." And you
it out there, Pedro. Hello, Pedro.
That's pretty nice, man. When I look at it, can you hear me?
Yeah, you just did a little fade out there.
Oh, that was weird.
Anyone watching
from this moment
here.
Yeah, we'd love to even have maybe a community group, a community group member in the group. I actually am in that group there, so I was actually looking at Kaz this morning as well. The community, they're still live, they're still kicking, man. But yeah, bonk is like, yeah, good. Kaz. Boom, boom, boom. We need to bring that guy on. That I hit up. Let me know when we can. Look at Kaz here. Yeah, like I said, like this isn't a bad thing. We've talked about this. I've been talking about this for a minute, that we should see a sell-off. It's not a bad thing, right? For Kaz. Where are we at? Caspa, where's my chart? That's not it. Kaz, USD. UST. There we are. Yeah, so like I said, it's doing what I expected it was going to do, right? We can see this again, starting to hit that 8. It's starting to trend off that 8 period, moving average. Expect this to come down to this area here of that 7-cent mark, potentially down to these lower levels here. Dollar cost average into this, and you can get in at a decent level here, right? Instead of at the peak here. It's not a bad thing. Again, it's not a bad thing. Lower levels means people load up, and then you then become the initiators of those. And also there's shorts going on right here. So people are bringing in shorts. Their first initial removal of their shorts is going to be right here, right? And then probably the second will be right here at these levels, right here, the monthly demand, and then boom, or maybe their first initial short was to take off risk, which was probably right here, why we saw that bounce here. And then right here, the second would probably be right here, and potentially third. But I do see it coming. I mean, still doing really, really well. There's nothing bad with it. Great community. They've got great tech. It's just right now people want to bring in a little cash into their pocket, and be able to play
this. Guy is a very loyal viewer named Tom says, "How about NEAR? NEAR. NEAR."
Let's check out. I like that Herlihy guy. He's a cool guy. All right, there. NEAR looking good. Actually looks like I had played with this already. So yeah, it's actually starting to pop here.
What's it? I can't see what it's currently trading at. What's it at?
Oh, right now it's currently trading at $2.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it came down to a pretty good low here at 95-cent area, 96-cent area. Where's the low here? What is that at? 97.1, which is a good round number, like a dollar mark area here. And the all-time peak here looks like it's $16, $20. All right, $20. What does NEAR do?
I have not a clue. I have not even the slightest of a clue. If anyone has any idea, I mean, I could Google it right now and then figure it out. But I was following it because someone else had said, "Hey, you should follow this." Note, I did not buy it, but they said that when it was down at basically at its low, right that whatever $1.60 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it promptly went to $2.50, and I didn't buy it, and I was like, nah.
It's funny is you could keep an, extra $20, $30, like we all go out to eat, get the cheap salad while you're hanging out with your friends, right?
I gotta tell
And
you.
then
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, take it.
I was gonna say, okay, take it, every time you go out to eat, try to save like $5 or $6, right? Get something cheap, get something healthy. And actually, that's probably not cheap anymore, but set aside some cash so that you can sit there and buy. Because here's the thing: at these rock bottoms, 10, $20, can do 100x, where you make 1,000, 2,000. I knew a guy. I'm not joking. He was in my community. He went through and I think he took his college, like, his FAFSA money or something like that, and put it into crypto. Because, for a while they were told they can't come to their school, right? Like
Right.
they were going to have to stay home and all that. So, he was still given money from FAFSA. So he took that money and put it into, I don't know the coin, but it did 1,000x. And he put in like, and I'm not joking, he put like $200 or $300 into it.
There you go.
Like it did, yeah, and
200
the
grand.
and the yeah, 200, 300 grand. So then he took $1,000 out of that, a couple, give and take $10,000 with projects, but at the peak, things were doing 10x, 12x, on an average. Last bull market, like you're like, oh, he only did like a 5x. So this kid was taking like, and he'd hit 100x every now and then. He followed what's it, Caesar's group, right? So he would put in a ton of money, and he followed Caesar, bro. Like he'd put in 5,000, 6,000. Some of these would do 10x, and the guy's a multi millionaire off of crypto with basically like $300, $400 FAFSA money. And it's, and I asked him, I was like, you going to go back to school? He goes, maybe. But he goes, I've taken out about a couple million and put it into, munis. And I said, smart. Like, that's actually really clever. Now he's, at the time it was only 2-3%, right? But it still was, oh, not 3. It was like 2%, 1%. But still off a couple $1,000,000, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's 20 million. Or excuse me, that's $20,000. Now I bet he's sitting pretty. He probably pulled his money out and put it into better returns.
Yeah.
But
Well, Pedro, we're coming to the end of this. Let's
yeah,
let's talk. Let's hit that SHIB here. I've got, while you get that chart ready, I've got an article up here that SHIB is pushing the internet naming guys, ICANN, to have a .shib top level domain, so you can have DYOR Media.shib or Zach Humphreys.shib, stuff like that. So they're really trying to push the ecosystem here and expand this thing. And it depends on the day of the week. The SHIB is either they are back and they are with it, and the community's like, rah rah, we're going another 100x, or the next day it's like, nah.
Yeah. Bad day for everyone. I'm gonna get in touch with Nayan.
These guys from Max.
Oh, awesome. So looking at SHIB right now, it's really interesting. They did definitely push the market up. You can sit there and see it, but it's now consolidating. But you can see here that they are putting in some buyer wicks here again, which is again another sign that, look, they want to push it. They blew through. Like, obviously they hit this supply zone at this level, and look, they just pushed right through. I expected us to come back down to these lower levels, the 798. It was like 60799, 608 area, and potentially again the lows, but they're holding this strong. And so the fact that they just pushed through this zone here, pretty good. This was a weekly and a monthly zone, right? Is a good sign, that they're pushing, they're strong. The backside behind it is it did stop it. So if they close below that 20 period moving average on that monthly, I would expect us to see the next junction point is at that 50. Now you can't see the 50 right now, but it's sitting about right here, right? How far is this? This is how many months we got until Got 1, 2. So 9. So we got 9. That's 20. It's 29. We still got next year until we really start to see some coming up. So let's look at that weekly then. So you can see that we hit that 89 and 100 moving average on point here. We did see a decent sell-off, but that sell-off was mitigated by the 8 moving average as it's moving up here. So we got a little ping pong effect that is going to be playing over the next few weeks. It's not a bad thing as you consolidate and positions are created for another potential floor right here to see that next level of that 17.99, 16.79 area here that we could potentially be coming up, and then come back and find support again at these current highs. So, i.e., it might be a good place to start to, build up. Again, these are still low points in comparative to the overall move within SHIB. It's still maybe 10% of its current peaks, and they've got a lot of stuff going on. So they're burning a lot of the coins. They're going through, they're bringing in income into the system. And they've talked about as money comes in, they're going to buy back the chart, burn coins, right? So again, causing the ecosystem to hold on to a greater value for the coin. So it's going to be really interesting to see as they move forward, where is it going to go? Is it potentially going to go all the way to the highs and then higher? Or are we going to see a peak, what we saw last time, and then a drop down? Either way, it's going to be a glorious rally from here to here.
What's their market cap right now?
Market cap, give me 1 second. I don't have it here. Give me 1 second. SHIB mark. I forget what it is, the market cap. How do you do that? Open interest. Is that interest? .I?
I just look on the coin market cap.
Yeah, we could just do that too. Yeah. I'll just go to coin market.
Right. I thought your screen would tell you what it was. But...
Yeah, give me 1 second. Market cap. SHIB. There we are. I think that's it. There's been quite a few of them.
Oh, it'll be in the top 100 list or whatever.
Oh, absolutely. Here we go. Actually, it should be in the top 10, actually. Dogecoin. That was another one. Dogecoin's been moving. Yeah, it's
6 billion
volume market cap. Yeah, 5.9. Yeah, 6 bill.
And it's down 90%.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. That means it was at $60 billion.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I remember when it was at 20 billion, and I said it's probably going to go down to about 5 billion. I had a friend of mine. She's been looking to buy SHIB, and I said, so she's been dollar cost averaging. And I said, save a lot of your money for when it gets down to the 6-9 area, 5-ish area, because we're going back down there. And she goes, really? And I go, yeah, like it's most likely going to go down there. And so I pulled out my screen and I said to her, I said, again, this is not financial advice. This is educational and for entertainment purposes only. But if they're going to drop it, we should see it come down to that 6.5 area here. We should see it, because the reality is if this is what they did last time, they went below the low, stopped everybody out, and went up. And sure enough, that's exactly what they did. So she calls me up and goes, "You were right! I can't believe it! You were right!" And so it was around like this, like the 6.3, 6.4 area, and she goes, yeah, I've been saving and I've been waiting, I've been dollar cost averaging as we're coming down, but I've been definitely putting less money in until when we come down to these levels. I said, yeah, dude, do it. Like, it's a good area. It's a real good area. I mean, if it falls below to these lower levels, then that's not even a bad thing for you, where you getting in right here. And so sure enough,
I tried to draw shib on the screen there, and that was that's all I got.
Yo, that's the retarded version. Oh shoot, you can't use that word. It's the mentally hardening part of person.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that alone. How about them Dodgers, bro? They're doing great.
Yes, those aren't two pillows. Did Pulse Chain die? Crypto Mike asks. No, Pulse Chain didn't die, but it's I would say my personal opinion right now is it's just a play like Luna and everything else that went to zero. I just don't honestly see how that with Richard Hart literally on the run from the U.S. government. he's
okay. But we all know that doesn't mean much, because it has a fanatic, like
the
their
community
group.
is fanatical. The problem is the community lost 99% of their money. And I don't mean lost it like, well, it'll go back up. I mean, they sacrificed that stuff long ago. They're not getting it back. And the tokens they got in return when Pulse Chain came out 2 years later are essentially worthless. And I missed out on that sacrifice, and I was unhappy with myself. It was just the time during that whole time the sacrifice was open. I was looking for a new job. I was trying to get the show started. I was doing a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, I can't really just send that money off to the abyss because I won't get it back if I have to sell it. And I was very angry at myself, especially with the hype. The hype is building up, and then it finally launches, and oh my God, everybody, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And it 10x'd in one day, and people are like, we're all going to retire. I was watching the Joker on his streaming channel. He's like, I'm going to retire. He said, I've had enough of this. I'm going to retire. And it was only like 3 days later, all of a sudden, they turned the lights out, and the party was over. And that was that.
What is Pulse's ticker symbol?
It's PLS and PLX.
PLS. USD. Here we go. Oh, that hurts so bad.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, dude. Like, I can see, so from here at 10x to there, we're going to be millionaires. Sells off 3 days later. Boom, makes sense. But then it does another crazy pump. So
yeah, the first little thing here.
Yeah.
Stop moving. This part here. That was like it couldn't move that fast because the bridge to get money into Pulse was a very small bridge. It was like a walking path bridge. and there was only one toll guy there, so the gas was really high, and not a lot could go. Its transaction level was low. They didn't guess it right. But where it really boomed is when they're like, oh, we fixed the bridge, and then suddenly people could dump money into Pulse, and that's where it went up like that one little boost, and then everyone figured out that there was nothing going on, and immediately just dumped. Which one is that, PLS or PLX?
This is PLS. Do you want to see PLX?
Yeah, try PLX. I can't remember the difference. Thing. One's like BNB, and the other one's like Smart BNB. Smart Chain. I can't remember which one is which token is which, but
that's not it.
That can't be right.
Yeah, PLX, USD. No, that's all I got.
Nah.
Yeah, PLX. Come on. And this is the one on Tether, or this is the one on ETH? Yeah, I remember those guys. I remember doing an interview on this crazy guy, dude, absolutely nuts of a dude, called Sandstorm. Dude was nuts. Anyways, I say that because they have the Joker on it, and he was talking about we're gonna retire and we're gonna, get a van full of strippers, and I'm like, dude, I'm like laughing, going, this dude is a nut. Like this is, not, I can't believe this is actually happening in financial world systems, right? Oh yes, I remember this.
Yeah,
Richard Hart.
After Richard Hart, the SEC started going after him. We did a show in which I got borrowed as much stuff from everyone I could find. Lots of fake stuff on me there, I might add, and pretended I was Richard Hart. That was a lot of fun.
Oh shoot, Carmen just came in. What's up, Carmen? How you doing?
Good morning, Carmen.
Hope you're doing well.
I'm just sliding it. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it's 10:30 there. It's time for you to get up out there in V-Town. Man, I haven't called Vegas V-Town in a long time.
It's 1 o'clock. Dude, I've been up. It's interesting. Go ahead.
When I used to live in Los Angeles, my buddy Josh, it was in the late 90s, so that was when the movie Swingers came out. And in the movie Swingers, with Vince Vaughn and all those guys at that time frame, they go to Vegas, and they all had nicknames. They have their normal names, but then they had everyone had nicknames, and even Vegas had a nickname. They just called it V-Town, and they would roll up for they do the typical thing: head there Friday afternoon, stay up all night, don't even get a hotel room, stay up all night gambling and all that type of stuff. Find somewhere to crash on Saturday, do it again, and then have one guy that got a nap or something like that, and drive back to Los Angeles on Sunday. And man, that was I miss those days. That was a lot of fun. But Josh was J Fresh and I was T Money.
We
had another guy as a lawyer, and he was just called the counselor. To this day, I don't know what his name was, and we just called him the counselor.
No, I am not a Dodger fan, Mike. No, I'm not. No. I'm an old school A's, Bash Brothers. That's when I used to follow baseball. I grew up in a small town out in California. Well, actually not a small town, but it's like a ghetto town. Anyways, I say that because I don't even think. Town. Yeah, I don't think you can say ghetto anymore. Like I think that's also another.
Yeah, it's probably will get dunged for that. It's a economically disadvantaged place where people don't give a crap.
Yeah, literally, they just do not care. It's there's a guy out there that I really respect. He's actually done a lot of great work. When you've been to Vegas fan, then
you'll be a Vegas fan then since they're. I'm not. I'm a fan of French fries. Speaking of, let's start. I haven't eaten anything yet today. Hey, Carmen, you made a post about the bill. We talked about that earlier before you were on.
Yeah.
And whether Elizabeth Warren was a sponsor or not. But I forget. I guess you posted something about it the other day. I forget what the article was. And ranch.
Yeah, it's ranch. Ooh,
ranch
yeah.
And fries.
Dude, honey mustard with fries, bro, is off the chain.
Yeah.
Like, and if you bake it, bro, like get it, coat it, the little pink Himalayan salt with some honey mustard. Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, my go-to zone for that isn't the honey mustard. It's the for you Canadians out there, it's the Saint Hubert gravy on their chicken and fries and all that type of stuff. Not the Swiss Chalet. That shit is gross. That's disgusting. It's the same company. Swiss Chalet bought Saint Hubert. Saint Hubert is the one from Quebec. Swiss Chalets in the rest of the country. And its Swiss Chalet gravy is gross. They put some nutmeg or some weird thing in it. But the Saint Hubert stuff, when you dip your fry in it, it's like, oh, sweet Jesus, with big golden wings. You can see the light.
I'm coming for you. I'm coming.
Yeah, Mike,
it's funny.
It's not even the poutine. It's just the poutine. It's got it all mixed in and just the ass padding right there. But just dipping it in that Saint Hubert gravy, sweet.
What's it called? Thank you, baby. What's it called?
Saint Hubert.
Saint
Hubert.
Saint Hubert. If I go to, I'm gonna have to go there. I have a trading coach down there. I want to one day visit, or up there. Excuse me, not down there, but up there. And one day I want to go. I'm gonna have to try it. If I sit there and say I need fries with Saint Hubert, is that everywhere? Everybody will know at any bar.
No, it's more in the east of Canada. It's in Quebec, and in the eastern part of Ontario, is where Saint Hubert is. The rest of the country is Swiss Chalet, and that gravy's just gross as shit. Just.
Okay, yeah. Oh no, because he is on the West Coast.
McDonald's fries, delicious, the standard for awesomeness for fries everywhere in the world, and then you go to Burger King and you're like, what is this crap that you're trying to serve us as French fries?
That's funny. Hey, it's good to know. Go to Quebec and go to LA, baby.
La Belle.
Providence.
La Belle.
Oh, La Belle.
Well, that would be the Italian way of saying it. La Belle.
La Bella. La Belle. Providence. Their routine is
Their
epic.
Poutine.
Poutine.
Is just the gravy, French fries, and cheese curds. And,
yes.
It's just deliciousness. It's just
Deliciousness.
Carmen, you are fired. You are out. Like that meme of the old actor doing this. Get out.
Get out. Get it. Instead of get down, it's get out. Get out. Cookie Monster. Hey guys, if you guys do us a favor here, it's gonna be silly, but if you could just take a minute, literally a minute, and you see that little heart button, if you can, hit that like 100 times, 200 times, and just tap at it, tap for about a minute. If we can boast those up, because I've noticed that we do get a lot of engagement, but when we hit those, that really does help out a lot, and so hitting that, letting, especially at the end of the show, we'll post this out. Also, I want to thank Mr. Beast, aka Bitcoin, for
don't worry about it.
for doing what it does, man. It's helped out a lot of people. I want to thank Zach Humphreys, as well as Shiba Inu, Kaz, and Dogecoin. Did I hit everything? I think I hit everything, right? For doing what y'all do, Shiba, because it honestly, I wonder, like, all the people who are listening right now, are these OG listeners?
Yeah, they're pretty much. We got mostly OGs in the house here.
Okay. So I wonder, we're gonna see, as from next year, me and Tom talked about, we really want to focus on really kind of nailing and growing this, and hopes, our goal is to really see a 50 to 100,000 views a show. And so we want to make sure that we do a great job on remembering our OGs, and how, bringing, as this keeps in growing and keeps maturing, and bringing on better, clients. And we brought on some pretty amazing guests already so far. So if we can keep this growing, man, I mean, I'm, allowing us to bring on sponsors, allowing us to be able to bring on more money, and then hence, building up the show allows us then to bring on even higher people. So our goal is to kind of, by next year, and again, this is a tall goal, right? But
very tall.
50,000, 100,000 views a show is crazy. But if we push in and hit these certain metrics, like, within the first quarter, our goal is to do what, if we can get 1,000 views, right? And then the second quarter, 10,000 views, right? Within shots, that should get our name out there, right? And then there's, like you said, there's that critical point where mass meets, or, what do you call it? I don't know what to call it. When vinegar hits, when vinegar hits,
shit hits the fan?
Yeah, when this stuff hits the fan, and all of a sudden, like, everybody and their mama wants to come and watch us. So those moments, that's the goal. That's the goal, right? 1,000, yeah, that's got to at least be 1,000 hearts. Exactly. We'll see what happens. But we're trying to figure out what to actually help with the algorithm so that we can bring in new, because the key is, I want to bring on, like, one of the goals we're trying to do is bring somebody on from the SEC. And hear actually what is actually happening at the SEC in relationship to crypto, and what is their actual view. Like, I don't want to sit there and beat them. I want to sit there and ask them, like, real questions, like, what are your guys' view? What do you guys think? I mean, do you really abhor it? Or I mean, do you
Or
really,
you
or is
just
it more
effing
like,
nuts like your boss.
right? But not even that, because it might not even be just that. It just could be, you're waiting,
That's
right?
exactly
You just
right,
want
Crypto. Get Gary on after he's fired. He's going to be fired soon, but hopefully sooner rather than later.
It depends. Right? It kind of depends, because it all depends on who and what is going to happen. If we stay with the current administration, right, he'll stick on, right? If we bring on a new administration, if Orange Man comes in, it's going to change situations, or even a different, Look, Orange Man, I think they're all scary. I don't like either of them. They overreach in everything that they do, and they try to control our lives.
The Orange Man is too scary for our Constitution. It won't survive.
They're all, what are you talking about? They're all just as bad. Don't sit there and tell me one is worse than the other, because they're both sides are as bad. Both have extreme views that want to control.
No, but there's a difference. One wants to be Putin. And one just wants to be the president because he doesn't know anything else what to do because he's so old and weekend at Bernie style guy.
No,
but
that's
Orange
CBD.
Man for sure it looks at Putin and goes, man, that guy's got it down. He just shoots all his opponents. He doesn't have to worry about the press. That he looks like a hero every day.
Did not Biden also bring in Xi into California, and they all bowed lower than Xi? Okay, so let's not sit there and vilify one over the other. I don't like either of them, because they both hold a view that is not pro middle class, lower class American.
But
they want to control.
What would you need to understand in this, and all you viewers out there need to understand this. This is not. It's not a my guy or your guy argument here. It's not a A or B. It's a not A. B through Z. Anyone else? Literally anyone else.
No,
well,
we need
except
a complete
B.
whole.
It's C through D, or C through Z, C through Z. However
What
you
middle
want to say
class?
it.
Good point, Carmen. What middle class? Here's the thing. Biden has destroyed the middle class as much as what other Democrats and Republicans have done. The reality is, by shipping over and allowing shipping of our jobs overseas, and allowing the taxations within businesses with Austrian economics, and the way they sit there and they deploy taxation for the middle class and also businesses is destroying. Okay, so this is the biggest key that I fight against on both sides. Right. So blockchain, so audit, or I don't know, I thought you were.
No, I get my green screen's casting a shadow here.
That's okay. So it's not, again, like you're saying, one is bad. They're both just as bad. One is just more blatantly open about his stupidness. So the reality is both are playing a divisive game in a way that where they're literally trying, and a good movie, I think, I'll suggest. It's on Netflix. It's called what was it? Leave the World Behind. It's scary.
Yeah, Carmen says we have to have an income of $165,000 minimum to have the same quality of life boomers did at our age. That is so true, Carmen.
Yes.
It's just the government has just devalued the dollar, basically stole our wealth to do that.
Both ends.
And the boomers, they were a little lucky, and they got it. One of the things that the government did was they created this fake housing crisis. Saying there's this shortage of housing and the prices have gone up accordingly. That's all. This is another side tangent. There is no reason for a shortage of housing at all, except for government regulation restricting it, saying you can only put single family homes here, no multifamilies, no this, no that, no this type of stuff. That's the only reason. And the boomer generation, we got lucky. They got in with real estate was almost nothing. When there was plenty of housing and anyone could afford a house. It doesn't matter what kind of house you wanted, you could afford it. I mean everyone had there was plenty of housing in each class of housing. And now there's not. Now there's not enough housing. It takes too long to build. In Canada, in Ontario, and specifically in Ottawa, it takes 2 years to get a building permit for a house. And it can take on average 4 years. 2 years is good. They're like, wow, you got it done in 2 years. When I was up there consulting, they said, oh, if we win this contract, we got to build a new factory. And what I was doing was specific. You couldn't just rent any factory. I said, all right, well, I'll look into building another one because I've built a couple. And they said, well, it's going to take at least 4 years for the permitting process and the environmental review. And I'm like, 4 years? I'm like, no, maybe a year at the most, including construction. Because, the factories nowadays, they just precast the walls and put a roof on it and good to go. And they're like, no, it's 4 years. And the housing development's 4 years. And in Ottawa, they said the government came out and said, we anticipate the population of the greater Ottawa region will switch from 1 million to 2 million by 2140. That's 2 million people. And they have 243,000 housing units, homes, in Ottawa. So they're going to need 450,000, right? The population doubles, you need twice as much housing. And they're going to need to approve 232,000 housing units. They only have the capability of doing like 2,000 to 3,000 a year. So the prices are just going to go through the roof. And our parents, the boomer generation, benefited from that greatly. And a lot of people that got lucky buying houses really cheap.
Well, I mean, listen, if you know how to be handy, you can always buy a cracked out. You can always buy a house that is like been demolished or disadvantaged in an area, right? Like this is what we see a lot with gentrification, right? Where they go in and they buy out a of right, that is very disadvantaged, and then they build it up. So if you're willing to go ahead and do, and I think that's kind of what they're trying to do, right? Is kind of intermingle certain areas. So it's like, I try to look at both ends of like, what's the purpose of that? Is it really just to simply go to push a narrative of lack, or are they trying to have an area get built up in addition to? So like, okay, you can only build a certain amount of areas, where then you have a lot of these older areas that don't get built, that don't get built up again, right? So it's a hard situation. It's not just black and white. There's a lot of gray area in the midst of this, and a lot of manipulation, right? The laws that were pushed out in past times were pushed out in a way that only allowed for certain people to buy and sell in certain areas. But then that also boosted more people, because whenever you have money coming to an area, then there are more jobs. And if there are more jobs, and again, I'm referencing here during America's apartheid, right? And during the Crows, and certain loans were given out during a certain period of times. So again, it's not so black and white. So I want to make sure we add on to what the full circumstance actually going on. But again, I reiterate, I think there needs to be a whole entire re-evaluation of constitutions. There needs to be re-evaluation of laws, and going through and saying, this is an old law. This is a pointless law. We need to get rid of this law, right?
There's tons of those.
And you can honestly get in trouble by it, right? The U.S. can sit there and go, no, boom. So there needs to be old laws that need to be taken off the ballot. There also needs to be a reevaluation of our real system and how it looks like, right? Like nobody should ever be in politics for 40 plus years, 50 plus years. You should not have that ability to do that, right? There needs to be somebody elected every 2 or 3 years from every sector of the U.S. government outside of sitting in the seats, right? Who literally their job is to sit there and rip apart and go, actually, they did this wrong. That person needs to go. And you only have, 3 terms to get there, four terms to get there from one stage to another, not 50 years. Anyways, that's, again, a crazy system. Hey, I got to get going, my friend. But me and him are on our rants here.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been on the show long enough here.
Please hit the like buttons.
Yeah. Crypto Mike, you hit it now, please.
Yeah, hit it now, buddy.
Let's see. Here, most Fortune 500 companies are discontinuing college education requirements for job because it's no longer there's a lot of jobs that certainly do not need a college education. And frankly, college education, only 10% of the people used to go to college. Now it's like 80%. And there's lots of most coding and tech jobs and things like that don't need a college degree. You need on the job experience. You need training courses. All those things are more like, you're the mechanics of today. You got to have hands-on training. You got to apprentice under someone that knows what they're doing. All that type of stuff. But I agree. College is first of all, it's too effing expensive, and B, when everyone does it, it waters it down. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having a good day. Thank you for putting up with Pedro and I all day here.
Absolutely.
And going about it. We will be live probably once or twice more this week. It is Christmas week. Maybe we can have a holiday show on the 24th. On the 25th, I'm actually flying back up to Toronto to spend the after Christmas with my kids. I will be spending it in Toronto again with the in-laws and the Mrs. Striking. So we won't be around then. But Pedro, a couple more times this week, probably.
Yeah, I'm down. You guys let me know I'm here. I always enjoy this. I appreciate you guys just let me rant. And if ever you want me to rant on a subject, send us out some subjects you want us to go research. And we can sit there and play with it and just see our two minds and create crazy antics, play with it, with the situation. The center of the universe. Hey, dude, I'm always down. I've actually really loved the black hole theory and we got to get at it. We got to go.
The end of the show is the end of the show, and here we wrap. So,
yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching, everybody. We had probably across all the different groups today about 35 viewers tune in. I really appreciate all of that, especially everyone on YouTube that spent all the time commenting. And Crypto Mike have started over there on Twitch and then switched over to YouTube for us. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
But I also appreciate you watching on Twitch, so we get a little credit there as well. Once again, on behalf of Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world, and I'm happy that another episode of DYOR Live has been taken care of. We'll see you again soon.